Hey guys, Romie here. So please like, comment, subscribe. Yes, sorry for the delay. This is the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 10. Yes, I know, season 10, episode 1, The 50 Shades of Cynthia. Now, this was weird. This does not feel like a season premiere. We always have something to say about every time a show premieres. It just started off, it didn't have the intro, so I didn't even realize. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? It just went straight to the show. I don't know if production felt like intros were played out now, or if they wanted to fit in as much as possible. It didn't show us what was going to happen within the season. Actually, because at the end, it was just like essentially next episode. And I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? But I do kind of like the fact that we're not wasting time, like just seeing the stuff that you already showed us in the super trailer, which is getting right to it. This episode had a lot of takeaway stuff. So essentially, if someone was saying something and production felt like, it showed us this is what really happened, or yeah, you're right, you did do and say that because this is what happened. So the show starts off with Candy. Candy's at the old lady gang, and Todd's there. He's working. You know, her mother and her two aunts are there, and it's because Candy's still kind of reeling off of what happened with the whole lie of sexual assault and rape and all of that from Cynthia and Porsha. So she's over them right now, but she's focused on what she really wants to do. Side note, The Escape, I watched most of part 1 for The Escape show or documentary, docu-series. That was cute. But anyway, so Candy, she's actually talking to Todd about, this is going well, but people, they only see the glory, or they only see the negative when you do stuff like this versus all the hard work. And she's also trying to tell him, look, I know I haven't been spending much time with you or the baby, but I'm thinking about going back on tour. What do you think? And he says, go for it. Go for it. You're always going to have haters, but now's the time to do something. If there's a demand there, then what are you doing? Go and make that money. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that she's not pretending like, oh, everything's just, oh, gravy with her and the girls. Side note, the old lady gang looked full. And it was. It definitely was. She said it was a Saturday, and she was on. She was like, I'm there a lot, so I know that helps. So I'm sure they were like, okay, Candy's going to be here on Saturday. The camera's going to be here. Because, people have to sign off on all that stuff. We actually saw their faces, so they all signed off. So this is the background to all of this. Cynthia's lake house is beautiful. Cynthia's lake house is beautiful. Shout out to her for getting a house that's just done. Shout out to everyone who goes and gets houses and builds them up and makes them nice. But look, me, I'm going to get a house that's done because I don't have the time or the energy for this and that not working, or this and that not already being installed. No. I just want to come in already. I'll get my own furniture because I don't want other people's stuff. But she's there, and she's just talking about how it's just her. She's turning 50. Well, she already turned 50 at the reunion, season 9 reunion, but she's going to go and make a whole year out of it, make it a big deal. But guess who comes back? Nene is back. Nene's back, and Nene's very extra. Nene's very extra out of the gate. She was like, LA was great, but she's back home in Atlanta to go and see what she can go and do here. Well, there. And I said, oh, okay, that's how we're going to play it. But they're kind of talking quickly into the fact that Kenya Moore, or whatever her last name is, got married. She got married, and so Cynthia, did you know anything about it? Supposed best friend? Oh, you didn't? Well, you know what? Shout out to her, because I guess she got right this time. And I guess it's the whole thing of, was it real? Was it not? Did she pay for this? Didn't she? And Nene was just like, it's very strange. You're supposed to be her friend, but she didn't invite you. She didn't even tell you, even though she was crying over the fact that you weren't claiming her. Oh, okay. All right. And from the pictures, it looked like she had a couple of people there, but I'm not just saying. I'm saying. Side note, you guys caught when Nene was like, oh, this lace front. Nene's a mess. She's a mess. She's entertaining. I just hope that it's just lighthearted for most of the season. When it doesn't get lighthearted, that's when we're like, oh, God. Oh, let this just be over already. So in comes Kenya. Kenya's just like, hey. Nene's like, hey, Pete. And I said, oh, no, we're starting it off like this. But it was a light gesture, because what people forgot is Kenya, and Nene acknowledged this, that Kenya was one of the few people that actually, checked in on Nene and what she was doing to make sure that she was good with her Broadway and all that stuff. So their relationship has actually been okay. So there has been really bad blood, and you could tell from their interaction here. Nene said, "Hey, yeah, hey, buddy, old pal, yeah, it's perfect or whatever." But I'm trying to figure out. So what are you now? Like everything's good. You're looking nice. I mean, look at you. You even look nice. Oh, there's a glow. So you got married. So you got married. Like who's a dude? And here comes Kenya saying his name is Baby. Everyone's supposed to call him Baby. I'm like, you want other women to call your man Baby? You think that's cute? We're already playing games here, and that'll strike one for me. But we saw the wedding pictures, and it was this whole thing of, okay, Kenya doesn't want to put herself out there. She's with someone who doesn't want his life just exposed on reality show, which is fine. But Nene was just trying to figure out, this is very interesting because you're the same person that was crying about your relationships and not being able to get married, have a kid, like what's going on? I know that's what you really wanted. And Kenya's like, she found the perfect package. She's really happy. And so Nene said, you know what? Even though how you did it was weird, even though you keeping secrets is weird, especially someone who wants to keep it real and all of that, I'll let you have this. I'll let you have this one because, and I can tell that production is over Kenya and the way how she did it, because production ran every reel of whether it was Kim Zolciak, whether it was Porsha, whether it was Phaedra, whether it was Nene, everyone who was going at Kenya for her relationships being fake, for her not being able to get married, not having a kid yet, for all of them going in on her for that, for these past couple of seasons, her even crying to Phaedra and Phaedra having to console her. Production is pissed. That's when you know production is pissed, and I'm sure they wanted it for the cameras. Why wouldn't they? And because this just happened, like in between them, they could have started up early for filming. They absolutely could have, because I guess they only had like 2 or 3 months of non-filming before they got back to it, based on the timelines that they were giving on the show. So they were pissed. They're pissed, and he said, okay, I'm happy for you. I guess this is real. If you say it's real, keep a good eye on you, but shout out to you. And that's how we're all feeling. Like, okay, if you say so, Kenya. Porsha's back. So Porsha is back, even though she was the one that actually was like really spreading the lie. Phaedra was the one who kind of planted the seed. So that's why I'm like, if Porsha is back and Phaedra is... All right, if for legal reasons we couldn't do that, okay. For now, at least. Porsha's still on Dish Nation, and apparently Porsha, she has a podcast now. She's definitely making sure she's capitalizing on the fact that she has a fan base. So shout out to her for that. She invites Lauren and her cousin Tiffany over because they do this weekly podcast, and they give advice. And she actually gave some good advice. It was like, and Porsha's on this whole no new friends type of tip. She feels like her really close friend, her frick or her frack, whoever Phaedra was to her, betrayed her, and now it's time for her to go and branch off. Now it's time for her to go and focus on her own things, And so then we find out that Phaedra reached out to her, and I think for her birthday. And so Portia's just like, oh, thank you. And Phaedra's like, you're doing very well, proud of you. And she was like, okay, appreciate it. And that's been it as far as overall conversation at that time. And Florence looking over there like, so are you really going to go and entertain the thought of a friendship? And Porsha said, you know what, this girl, she played with me. She played with my emotions. She made me look like Boo Boo the Fool. And I'm thinking, she definitely did a setup type of situation, but she did it with the right person, because no one else would go and think that, someone said something like that to them and then still go over there. Well, I mean, some people would, but very few with. And can we just mention about how Porsha actually said, well, because there was this woman who, she was 29 or something, or 27, and she was going out with a 48-year-old. She wasn't sure if she should continue the relationship. No, bring the guy to her parents to meet or continue the relationship. And so then they're all like, no, because then the girl said, and her dad's 46. So you're dating someone older than your dad, and he's definitely old enough to have a couple of kids, including you. That's nasty. I don't care what anyone says. That age gap and just that fact with the whole that's a, you have a father and he's old. Anyway. So then when Portia's like, you don't want to have, I mean, he's old, and they're like, you know, guys can have kids and produce babies. And I thought she was going to say, yeah, but you don't know if the kids are going to come out right. I thought that's what she was going to say. No, Portia's going to go and say, oh, but what if the kids, you know, come out old? I said, this is Porsha. This is Porsha. And because this is Porsha, people actually believe what she says. I'm going to go and give her the benefit of the doubt and say that that was a joke. Really. I have to, because, God, it just brought back the Underground Railroad and the 364. You know what? Anyway, we're moving on. Now, apparently, Nene has a shop. Was it swag merch? Swag boutique? Swag something in Atlanta, and she invited Sheree over. Now again, we even see when Nene and Sheree had issues. Oh my God. When Nene said fix your life or something like that, and Sheree said fix your face, I said, oh God, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't. But it's everyone's nice, everyone's calm. The show just started, and everyone hasn't really been around each other consistently that much in a while, so that helps a lot. So they're good, they're okay. But Nene wants to talk to Sheree about a couple of things. She wants to talk to Sheree about how she has an issue with Porsha, and Sheree is one of the few people that's still friends with Porsha, because she's like, you know what, Portia's so dim-witted, I can't believe that she intentionally knew what she was doing. And I said, and that's the problem, because people don't give Porsha enough credit. I keep trying to tell y'all, Porsha is smarter than you think she is. Anyway, so there's that, and there was this conversation where on Dish Nation, they keep bringing up Nene, and so Nene doesn't like it, and so then Nene said something 3 weeks prior to taping at that time that, because Nene used to give Porsha advice. She's been doing it for years, ever since Porsha came on the show, and she really did say that she looked at her like a little sister. And Porsha at the time appreciated it. Now she doesn't. Remember the last time when it had to do with fighting, and Porsha was like, now wait a minute, what about that scuffle that you had with Kim? And Nene said, but where are their cameras? I said, oh my God, I remember. You can't make some of this stuff up. And so now when Nene was saying that Porsha and Phaedra should be fired, because I think Nene was more so saying if Phaedra's going to go, then why would Porsha stay as well, since she's the one that kind of paraded that lie on the show. And a lot of us agreed. But then, so then we switched from that, because they're going to have that conversation. The next thing is the fact that apparently Miss Kenya Moore got married. We don't know the guy's name. We don't know his first or last name. She just wants to call this guy baby. Sheree doesn't know. Of course Sheree wouldn't know who the guy is, but Sheree was like, heard of him? Sounds like he's nice. We'll see. We haven't seen a marriage certificate. We've just seen the pictures that everyone else has seen. So we'll take it from there. And again, I feel like production is really pissed at Kenya for not, exposing her marriage to the cameras for Bravo or for NBC. And so we just transitioned from that to, but everyone said, they're happy for her. If this means it's a calmer, happy Kenya, then go for it. Kenya's talking to her father, and her father, remember, he's a no nonsense. So he was pissed at her because he's trying to figure out, why didn't you tell me that you were getting married? And she just had to be honest. She was like, when I was talking to you about it before, you were kind of negative. Not kind of, you were negative. And I just didn't want to have that around me. And I'm sorry, because I know it hurt your feelings, and that's not what I was trying to do. But I just wanted to have a really nice wedding. But I'm really sorry, because again, I wasn't trying to hurt your feelings. I wasn't trying to be a bad daughter or anything like that. And he had to step back, and he apologized himself, because he was like, he knows how he comes off, but he wants to see his baby girl, who's had all these I'm adding this part, who's had all these relationship issues, especially in the public, on purpose. have all these problems and then come crying to him after each and every one. He wanted to make sure that this dude was okay. But if this dude, and this is the second time that Kenya has said that, you know, she's doing what this guy wants, as far as, okay, she wants to respect her husband. I do appreciate that. I just hope it doesn't come at a point where Kenya, the essence that she really likes about herself, starts to get lost because she's in this relationship or in this marriage. It could be a situation where it can make her better. So hopefully let's just roll with that. So Cynthia, she's having this 50 Shades of Cynthia birthday party, and she wants all of her guests to dress up as, well, get a wig, because you know she loves wigs. Get one of her, you know, I guess, iconic wig looks, and go for that as a party. So now Sheree goes and meets up with Porsha. They're styling wigs, and I said, oh, that's actually, y'all can change your looks. Now, Sheree, I don't know why someone put that, like, white hair blonde wig on you. And I'm like, Sheree looks really good. She doesn't need to do half the stuff that some of these other people need to do. So even if she just had this slick back, cool. But now Sheree's talking to Porsha to let her know, all right, so what's going on with you and Nene? And Porsha said, you know, even though I was saying the stuff on the show, and that's what Nene was saying was the problem, Nene went on that show, and I guess they're trying to keep Watch What Happens Live's name out of there. But I'm thinking, this show has a lot to do with what happens on the Real Housewives franchises. So go and say it. Watch What Happens Live. Because of what so-and-so said on Watch What Happens Live, I'm upset. So I said, when I said in return. And Porsha's thing is, we're supposed to be friends. So how would a friend go and try and get me to lose my job? Which is what Nene was essentially trying to do by saying, oh, Porsha isn't needed, or that because of the antics that Porsha shouldn't be there. I said, okay, all right, well, that's true. If that's your friend saying that, then you two need to reevaluate what's going on there. Next thing we know, we have Cynthia. She's at her birthday party and she's getting ready. Noelle is there, and Cynthia calls Peter because she invited Peter, but he didn't say anything. So she called him, put him on speakerphone, and Peter said, look, I am busy. Shout out to you. Are you good? Yeah, I'm good. All right. Happy birthday. Love you much. Cool. Cynthia wants to be friends with all of her exes. She wants to have a great relationship because that's just the type of person that she is. And because that's the type of person that she is, when someone's not reciprocating that, it gets to her. And we've seen that on the show too, when she's friends with someone or supposed to be friends with someone and she doesn't feel the love. It's just like a knife in her chest. I'm saying, Cynthia, for good reason, you wanted a divorce from Peter. Peter decided, okay, granting you the divorce, and I'm going. You saying, hey, let's be friends. Hey, let's go and hug a little bit longer than we should. Hey, maybe a nice little peck on the cheek or in the mouth. Hey, that's not fair to Peter. That's sending mixed signals. I know it's what's been happening before. So now Peter's still thinking, oh, maybe there's still something going on. You need to just dead it, move on, and just be friendly. Right now you're doing a little bit too much, expecting a little bit too much. He doesn't need to be there. He doesn't need to be there. Just move on. So Mallory's there, and you know, everyone's getting there excited. So Kenya got there, and she rocked Cynthia's short brown haircut, like messy brown haircut. And at first I was like, wait a minute, is that Kenya or is that Cynthia's mom? Because it was the same look. I said, oh wow, Kenya did a really good job. So the ladies are coming there, and everyone's still kind of talking about how, so we finally know what Kenya's last name is. I think it starts with a K or a D. And they're just like, oh, so we had to find out on social media. And that was the reason why her father was upset. It was like, people were telling me from Facebook that you need to go and look and see what your daughter did. Candy, she definitely had the best look. It was I guess for a cover shoot of Cynthia's, where she had the bottles, the empty bottles, as hair, what's it called, hair rollers. But anyway, so Candy kind of acknowledges the fact that her and Nene are on, but anyone's essentially better than Porsha and Phaedra. When Porsha got there, Candy wasn't in her right mind, because Candy actually hugged Porsha. And she was like, wait, what am I doing? Because Porsha went in for a hug. See, and that's the fake stuff I don't like. I understand that Porsha was saying to her family that, you know, Candy and I, we just haven't seen each other, so I haven't apologized to her. And I'm like, you didn't apologize because you didn't know what to say, because you know it was messed up and you knew you were wrong. So you didn't know how to go and just be honest and say, I messed up. I'm really sorry. That's what should have been said instead of this, oh, I'm not really sure how to apologize. I am sorry that I lied. I just wanted to let you know, I mean, that I repeated something so stupid and foolish, even though I still hung out with you. Anyway, Porsha and Nene don't hug again, and it looks like it's going to be this Nene versus Porsha thing. And of course, Cynthia looked good, so it wasn't the problem, but I was like, Cynthia actually could have done like a less is more type of look, and Wolf looked even better, because Cynthia, again, she's also another one that doesn't need much. Porsha, I liked her look. The afro, that was a nice look. Nene was there. What'd she have? Short hair with the scarf. So everyone's there. They look nice, but it's this whole thing of, again, after we kind of say shout out to Cynthia had everyone walk. Mal almost fell, so no more drinks for Mal. The only Candy won the contest. Sheree showed up. She was wearing the blonde, long hair that Cynthia does. And no one really wants to be close to Porsha right now, understandably, because no one has really talked to her since the whole ordeal. So now it's finally Porsha and Nene just having a one-on-one conversation, and that doesn't go well as expected. I mean, how would it? How could it? You have these two who they haven't been butting heads. They've just been at a crossroads because one person is essentially talking about the other one consistently, and I'm sure there was probably also around the time when there's always something as far as Nene in the headlines. So I don't think it even had to be anything specific, but it was just like, wait a minute, you went and said all that stuff to Candy and did all that stuff, and I was trying to warn you, you know, who your friends are. I was trying to warn you to just keep my name out your mouth. We're not cool, so why are you doing all this talking? Listen. And so that's the main crux. Porsha is just upset because she's like, you're supposed to be my friend. What friend says, oh, you're going to be fired. Oh, she needs to be fired. She needs to be fired. And I said, yeah, you're right. A friend wouldn't say those words. A friend would be like, look, the network's going to have to do what they have to do, but hey, that's not on me. So, again, it's weird because it kind of jumps right into the show for the next episode versus seeing how the season goes. I wonder if they're trying to do something different to keep the show fresh, since this is the biggest franchise, Real Housewives of the franchise. So yeah, please like, comment, subscribe. It will be up at its regular time next week.